Now we are going to hear from the people who are really leading in this war. From commanders who have come from the battlefront, taken time out to explain to you all what is really going on. I suggest there is no better way of getting a real understanding of what is happening than from these three commanders. Thank you for taking the time to be here. It's a big deal that they are here. I was just actually talking to a couple of you closer to your command post. It's a long, long way that they have come, and they have come to tell you what's going on. Let me introduce, firstly, to my right, Robert Brovdi, call sign Madyar. Commander Brovdi is a Ukrainian military commander, entrepreneur, and public servant. Before the full-scale invasion, you were a successful businessman. I won't go through your whole CV, but you have played an extraordinarily important role in the last 2.5 years. And you are now the commander of the special unit of the drone aerial systems, Ptakhi Madyara. Welcome, thank you for joining us. Next to him is Commander Pavlo Palisa. Commander Palisa is commander of the 93rd Separate Mechanized Brigade, Kholodniy. It is, I've been told by many people, one of the best brigades in the Ukrainian military. I'm delighted that you are here. I had the pleasure of meeting your deputy in the field a couple of days ago, and I saw that for myself. Very nice to see you here. Thank you. And next to him is Commander Ihor Obolienskyi, commander of the 13th Brigade of the National Guard. The Charter is your call sign. Very nice to see you here too. We saw each other in Kyiv. I'm going to say very little in the next half hour because there is nothing better than hearing from these three gentlemen what is really going on. And all I have asked them to do is to give you a full and frank assessment of what it is like for them now commanding their brigades in different parts of Ukraine. And Commander Brovdi, I think we'll start with you. The floor is yours. Tell us what is happening. Yes, that one there. And I think Commander will speak in Ukrainian.
Well, maybe it would be better to talk by rank, but if the moderator said so, let's do it. First of all, using this stage, I would like to thank Ukrainian people who are helping Ukrainian troops, including our unit, for 2.5 years without any fatigue. It is exceptionally due to this support that we were able to evolve, and we were transformed from usual rifleman's squad to the special unit. Now it is a detached regiment of drones. Over these 2.5 years, we learned to efficiently kill those who came to conquer our land. As of today, we managed to do this, first of all, because we use 3 major principles of building of the structure of our unit. First of all, this is full competence, competent mobilization, competent supply, and competent use. These are the 3 factors that enabled us to reach good results. We now have almost 400 active servicemen. Some of them are combat pilots, some of them are engaged in supplying the regiment, supplying ammunition and batteries and all this, assembling the drones, starting from producing our own systems of radio electronic action. Every serviceman is engaged in saving the lives of those people who are serving in our unit. Of course, we pass on our experience to other units, but I think that it is for the first time that I will be speaking of numbers, of real efforts to save our personnel. So when you were able to provide every pilot, every serviceman, even those who only episodically appear in the combat zone. So we have now 400 people who are taking part in combat, and we are teaching and training 600 people at the moment. So we are 1,000 now. So over 2.5 years, we were able not to exceed the point of 1% of our servicemen as our losses killed in action. So other losses are within 3 to 5% of wounded, and almost 75% of those wounded come back to serve in combat. They are, of course, very much compressed as a result of the war, and they are not prepared to come back to peaceful life, even after amputations, even amputees and other people like this. Taking into account the special, absolutely different approach of the enemy, because they obviously do not care for preserving their personnel. So our main goal is to move forward with our combat tasks, saving our personnel. Every month we put out of action 8 to 1,000 enemy soldiers. About the drones, yesterday I was listening very attentively to all the speakers. I was interested in our foreign participants' opinions, and I am ready, probably later during this discussion, comment on this, but at the moment I want to say the following. We have such a level of self-organization. I don't mean our unit, I mean the branch of the drones. I have no doubt that the best drones are being made in Ukraine now, the best in the world. We react to all the challenges and needs of modernization every minute, and we are in a parallel evolution with the enemy, because we have the same suppliers, we have the same understanding of the combat tactics and logistics. So as of today, apart from the challenge of Chinese Ni Hao, which appeared on the 1st of September, and we will catch the results of the limitation of supply of those components for drones within the next 30 to 45 days. All the other components are implemented with us. And excuse me for being frank, but most of the drones are made of shit and sticks, not in industrial conditions, but there are no producers, manufacturers in the world now who are able to produce 300 to 500 drones who may cover 900 kilometers into the rear of the enemy, and they carry explosives, and they cost something like half a Mercedes. All that we need is the targeted financing and the support for those manufacturers, because they are hundreds in their numbers. But because of codification and certification on those drones, we get them with a lag. They also limit our opportunities to learn to fly those drones. And they also, sometimes the price of the drone rises inexplicably. And a great number of those who work for the war, non-Ukrainian, have different priorities.
I can give you just one example, because very often I see numbers which need to be commented upon. If we speak about 82 millimeters mines, which we get up to $1,200, and a 5-kilo mine with 5 lances with the which is produced on the basis of our regiment, costs $58 US, and about 30% is what we pay for the Chinese components. So just compare $1,200 and $58. That's what we do, and we will try to carry on as long as we can.
Thank you very much. I asked you to be frank, and you were. Thank you. Commander Palisa, you were at the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College when the full-scale invasion occurred. You came back and are now leading in the Ukrainian army, as I said, one of the best brigades. Give us your sense. Your brigade is near Chasiv Yar, I believe. Tell us what your sense is of the situation on the ground in the east.
Дякую, Зен. Для мене це честь бути зараз тут із вами.
For me, it's a great honor to be here with you and speaking from this rostrum. I would like to, first of all, thank the fighters of the 93rd Brigade Kholodniy, and as well as all other brethren in arms of ours, and there are tens of thousands of brave men and women who, over the years, have been defending our land, fighting for the future of our country, for the future of our nation. First and foremost, this is my first public speaking experience. I am a little bit nervous, so please bear with me, and I apologize for that. First of all, I would like to answer your question about the front line, the situation in the east. This is a kind of a tyranny of time, as I would describe it, because at the beginning of the full-scale invasion, we hoped it would not be too long. But now we realize that it's going to take much more time than we would like to. So on the one hand, we understand that this fight is going to take us a lot of time, but on the other hand, we appreciate that we don't have much time. Our time is tight for different things, and it is time that I would like to speak about as a resource which is most valuable after the human life when we are talking about the battleground. Because training of an infantry soldier or any other military serviceman for that matter, we need time, and we are desperately short of time to organize interaction and cohesiveness with other units. All that training also takes time. When it comes to eliminating our enemies, we need to be faster, we need to be more agile. This is what efficiency is all about, and all this also requires time to be able to be so. Time as a resource helps us save other resources, like weapons, technology, munitions, and so on. And this is something that they're very much short of. I mean time, because the aforementioned resources help us save lives of our soldiers and make it possible for them to gain necessary training and experience and to do their job up to scratch. This is something that can be said about the soldiers, sergeants and officers at all levels. Again, I can give you another example as regards resources. Most commanders, put it this way, I will speak for myself. Brigade intelligence, at a certain point in time, detected and corroborated the existence of 5 very important targets which are crucial in terms of combat capabilities of the enemy. The military present here know the meaning of hyper off-target and high-value target. And the capabilities to hit those targets are not available for a brigade. The levels above us are not available there as well. And necessary capabilities exist only at 2 levels above us. But once we applied for that, they said that those capabilities can be forthcoming only in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time to hit such crucial enemy targets. And what happened in 2 weeks' time? It turned out that those targets are 50, and there are only 5 capabilities to hit them. Briefly summarizing what I wanted to say. At the beginning of the full-scale invasion, the armed forces of Ukraine's army, surprised the whole world. We can make the world amaze our military time and time again on the battleground. Just give us necessary resources, and we will give you another pleasant surprise.
Thank you for your frankness, and thank you for some concrete examples. It's very powerful to hear that. Can I turn now to Commander Ihor Obolienskyi of the 13th Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine. Your call sign is Charter. Let's hear from you. You are based in the Kyiv region. Tell us what the situation is there.
Дуже дякую за запитання. Дуже радий всіх бачити. Дякую організаторам за такий захід.
Thank you very much. I thank the organizers for holding such an event, and I thank Ukraine's military for making everything possible for events like this to be held. At this forum, I was asked time and time again how efficient it is. This event, how useful it is, how relevant. I think it is very relevant, especially now when the military of Ukraine surprised the whole world by the efficiency of conducting certain military operations. You do something which also deters the enemy from using certain kinds of weapons. That's why both yesterday's platform, where poet Shadan spoke and some other people, and today's platform as well, they're doing a great job, and we're very thankful to you for that. As regards the front line, I can say that the Kursk operation helped the situation on the battleground because it relieved our forces, and now Russians use their munitions and weapons to hit their own territory, which is good for us. This helped our military a lot. And secondly, I'd like to draw your attention to the formation of military units in Ukraine. In front of you, there are 3 officers. Out of them, 2 officers have created new units, new military detachments from scratch, basically, which goes to show you that Ukraine is changing. And I think my colleague who was trained in the U.S. And all other comrades of mine will agree with me that we are absorbing Western practices, experiences, and tactics to be more efficient on the battleground. On the basis of the experience of Kharkiv Brigade, I can tell you that we are based on a volunteer corps. Primarily, these are people who, for some reason, could not become full-time military during the first year of the war. Musicians, teachers, IT experts, and now they have shaped the core of the charter unit. I have an experience of working with contractual units and volunteers who are very much motivated, and I believe that the Charter Brigade now is one of the most efficient military units. In terms of the number of killed in action, I think our performance is very good. It's less than 0.5% of personnel of those killed in action. We understand that on the battleground, victory can be gained by 3 means: people, weaponry, and will for victory. The will for victory. As we can see in the experience of this war, of Russia's war against Ukraine, they kind of break certain stereotypes that supremacy in manpower and weaponry is not a sure cinch that you will get victory. The experience of Charter unit shows that a good planning and attentive attitude to each serviceman and giving them the right place for service is really key. You have to talk and interact with people. When we were training, we were living all together, sergeants, soldiers, and people who were joining our unit had some both positive and negative experience of war, and some of them were distrustful of commanders or their decisions, like, for instance, don't put this electronic warfare thing here because it irradiates, and this is bad. So All this takes a lot of persuasion power, dealing with the soldiers, persuading them that what the commander is doing is the right in this kind of environment. Another efficient decision which we made was to make it possible for people to actualize themselves in our unit. Sometimes people say that anyone can be an infantry serviceman. But we try to find a niche for each and every person to be able to self-actualize himself or herself in the best possible way. For instance, we had a lot of people who wanted to pilot UAVs. But there are certain KPI standards which we use to evaluate people's performance, and if the performance is bad, maybe we train the person badly. So we try to put people in places where they would be most efficient. And the third factor is planning and training and employment of the human power. Because planning is something which saves the lives of soldiers. So when we get asked what do you need, of course we need weapons, but also we require assistance in training and more assistance in terms of training for planning and employment and procedural training for our military.
In order to form the contract-based force, which will be able to advance, and we are demonstrating this with the Charter Brigade. This is a unique unit. It's 100% voluntary people with previous military background, and we are in one of the principal areas, and we would have about 960 guided bombs dropping on a monthly basis. But people are still there, holding the line, so to speak. And there are many issues when people, it's for me as commander, the third point, the leadership formula for a commander. First, communication, respect from the people. Second, planning. And the third very important thing after the Kharkiv mission, that's the sense of ownership. Everyone is involved. Everyone is part of the brigade, and they wouldn't leave the positions. They have repelled a great invasion. And for our Western partners, I would like to say that every Ukrainian has this sense of ownership and involvement. And everyone shares in our future victory. I'm happy to see you all. It's not just for Ukraine, but also for Western partners. This sense of ownership I offer. And let's hold the line together and let's win together. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for those remarkable testimonies. You are all extraordinary leaders of extraordinary brigades in an extraordinary military. I think I'm not going to try and summarize what you said, but I have a couple of takeaways for this room. One is for those of us who are not Ukrainian to reflect on just the variety and breadth of talent and difference of background in this remarkable armed force. What you have heard from three people with very, very different backgrounds. One of you was a businessman, one of you was a military being trained in the United States. You've come together in different brigades. You've created new brigades. You've described, as you did to start with, a whole new kind of warfare, drone brigades, drone battalions. The nature of that war, and if we had more time, you would be able to explain it, is changing day by day as drone capabilities are shifting. And you were, I think, frank and clear about how that is and about the challenges you face, the challenges of training, the challenges of organization, the challenges of equipment and of supply. I think it's extraordinarily important that you took the time to come here. Thank you. We all have, I think, a much better assessment. And I'm going to rudely go over my time, but ask the three of you briefly to just lay out the one message that you would like this audience, which is an important and powerful audience, to take away with them. It can be something that you need, it can be something that you think they may not understand about this war. Is there one thing that you would like them to remember from this conversation? I'm going to go in reverse order, so maybe we could start with you.
First
of all, the principal message I would like to get across is don't be late with the assistance, don't procrastinate, make it expedient. And because the situation on the ground is changing so rapidly that every commander can be a witness. Things effective today might be not so effective or ineffective tomorrow. One of the examples, I think Mr. Madyar would agree with me, they are now engaging drones, with the fiber optic component, and they're trying to use UAVs with the same frequencies as our radios have. So we use EW capabilities against their drones and suppress our own communication. So we have to develop, we have to keep the finger on the pulse, so to speak, and feel the situation on the ground. And every decision made by a commander is about people's lives. We have to be ahead of our people, ahead of events, and we do not sleep for 2 or 3 hours a day because we're so busy with our personal matters. We learn as we go, we get trained as we go, and we are busy around the clock. The new EW capabilities and RS capabilities might be obsolete. Thank you very much. They arrive, but it's a bit too late. So don't be late with the assistance, and we'll be there for you to use the systems provided effectively. Thank you very much. I would like to fully agree with my colleague. I put my name to that. For my own part, I would like to add the following. I understand this. I understood that when we had the Bakhmut campaign, the lack of munition, the lack of weapons, we actually paid with the lives of our soldiers. And I would like to say this for it to be understood by our partners fully and deeply, because we want, we can, and we will get this victory for the country. But we need your assistance. Just remember that. I have 2 messages for the partners, if you allow me. Number one, the evolution of UAV technologies is enormous. It's very speedy. 50% of all the assault force, the assault fleet, it's so volatile. So within 6 months, all this war, this UAV war will become pilotless, unmanned completely without any operators. There are hundreds and hundreds of systems of AI systems, and they test AI to replace operators. In 6 months, we won't need any pilots or operators that matter. They will be just launch the craft, and then the craft will decide on its own where to go and how to hit the target, without any possibility of friendly fire. They will be able to tell friend from foe. And these are the technologies that we need for Ukraine. This is number one. Secondly, the price of lives and experience of years, literally years of military operations. All the international community that has the sense of the situation, they are getting free of charge the experts who will come to you as instructors and teach your force, because there are many wars still to be fought. And this will become an element of our practical gratitude for your assistance in our fight for our freedom and for our country, for our families. Thank you.
Thank you to all three of you.